Next, we are going to look at this little points, lines, and planes book. We're going to do this together in class, but here is the video of it just in case you missed that. So we have this like paper with all these weird, some of them are upside down. We got dotted lines. So what we're going to do first is cut out on these dotted lines. Get that staple out of there, maybe. No? Okay, we'll just cut around the staple. That's fine. So cut along those dotted lines, and all that does is make sure our book is like flat on the edges, basically. So we're cutting out both sides. Okay, there we have it. And then we're going to fold on every single line, and we're going to fold it both ways. So we're going to fold first this way on that middle line. Someone's screaming next door. That's not good. Right. Fold right there. That wasn't very good, but that's okay. Again, doesn't need to be perfect. I'll zoom that out a little. And we're going to fold the other way as well. Okay, folding both ways. Missed the line again. And we're going to fold, this one both ways as well. So folding on the lines. Okay, that's also not very good, my bad. Oh, terrible. Okay, there, that's a little bit better, maybe. And fold this way, folding on each line in both directions. Fold in half this way. Still not doing great at this, sorry. All right, that way, and then we're gonna flip it and fold the other way. And one more fold to make over here. We got this guy. Shoop, shoop. All right, and fold it the other way as well. Okay, and then the way that we make this into a book is we'll take the whole thing and we'll fold it this way. Okay, so hamburger style. Do people still say that? I don't know. And then you're going to cut along just this part from the edge to this corner where they meet, like that. Okay, then you're going to open it back up, fold it the other way, hot dog style. And if you push from the edges in, it folds into a nice little book. And if you folded it neat, it's pretty, like this one. And if you didn't fold it neat, it's not as pretty, but that's okay because it doesn't really need to be pretty. It just needs to be, effective and have the information that we need. Okay. So we have this points, lines, and planes mini book, and we're going to go ahead and fill it out as well. So we're starting with the undefined term point. A point has no dimension, which is another way of saying it has no shape or size, which is what we learned in our notes. And we represent it by a dot. So here we have a point that is called point A because it's got an A right next to it. Next, we have a line, which has one dimension, and it's represented by a line. And instead of B, it should say with two arrows. Right, so we've got our line. It's got arrows on the end to show that it goes on forever. And we want to name this line in 3 ways. So one way is we can use this script letter, line, and that is actually a lowercase cursive L, not an E, but I understand if it looks like an E. We could also call it line BC, like this, or we could call it line CB, like this, or we could put, the word line and then BC or CB. But I prefer this because I think it takes a little bit less writing. Okay, we flip the page, move on to a plane, which has 2 dimensions. 2 dimensions. And it's represented by a shape that looks sort of like a wall or a floor. But it goes on, it extends forever without ending. And we can name a plane using a script letter. This is our script P, and it's got to be capital for a plane P, or we can use 3 non-collinear points on it, so we could also call this plane DEF, or plane FED, or, those 3 letters in any order. There are 6 possible ways to put them in different orders. I'm going to stop there. Okay. A line segment has 2 endpoints and all of the points in between. So here we've got K and L, and we can name a segment in 2 ways, which is to say we can put KL or we could put LK, and we want to remember that the segment symbol is just a line with no arrows on top. 2 ways to name that segment. Okay. Last one is a ray, which has 1 endpoint on one side, and it has all of the points on the line in the other direction. So here we've got endpoint P, and then all of the points on that line that go forever towards Q and past it. So we'll name this ray PQ because we want to put the endpoint first. And our symbol has just the 1 arrow. So P is the endpoint, so it's at the side without the arrow. Q is just the other point, so it is on the side with the arrow to say we go past Q and keep going. Pair of opposite rays. Remember, opposite rays, they have the same endpoint and then they just go in opposite directions. So we could say SR and ST. SR and ST are opposite rays. And when we're talking about intersections, 2 lines are always going to cross at a point, and 2 planes will cross at a line. Okay, so now we've got a few more examples to look at. We have here line QR and line RW, and we want to name their intersection. So let's see, QR is this one, RW is this one. So it looks like they cross right there at point R. Point R. And then we have named the intersection of plane TUV, which is this one, the bottom of our box, and plane SPU, which is sort of this side of our box. And it looks like those 2 cross right here at line UV or VU. I'm going to put UV, and we technically only have a segment of the line, but we can still say that it would go on forever if we want to, or we can stick with just UV. Okay. All right, on the very back, we've got another diagram. We've got 4 questions to answer. Here is our plane, and this line DB is on the plane, and this one here is not on the plane. It's kind of like going up through the plane like this. So all the stuff that's in dotted line is under the plane, and this is above the plane. So like point F and point E aren't on that plane, they're just like near it, and it looks like they're on it because we can't render 3 dimensions on 2-dimensional paper. So we have name a line as our first question. There are 2 lines we can pick. We could do this line or this line. I'm going to go ahead and name line BC, which is this one. You could also name line CE. It doesn't really matter which one you pick. Name a plane. So we've got this plane. We want to pick 3 non-collinear points on the plane to name it. So let's say A, D, and G. Those look like they're non-collinear. Plane A, D, G. And a pair of opposite rays. So for this one, I'm going to look at my weird vertical line that's going through. So point C is our shared endpoint. We can say ray CE and ray CF. All right. And then name a line segment. Lots of options there. I'm going to go with segment CD, which is just from here to here. So pretty simple stuff, just there to review. So you have a little review booklet with you. Hello. A little review booklet that you can keep moving forward throughout the rest of the year to remind you of what points, lines, and planes are and how you name them. Okay, and that is the end of this one. We will now